Welcome to Just Lyrics with Jake Michael. Today's guest is E.J. Simpson, who has been writing lyrics for 1,000,000 years and has performed everywhere. Because I don't believe in introductions, I will begin with the first question. Are you ready?
Si, senor.
When you were like 5 years old, just a little kid, what was the music? What sort of music did you hear? What was informing your early mind going on in the background?
It would have to. You mean influence in my mind, or the stuff I was hearing?
Just what was around? What were your parents playing, or what was around? What do you recall hearing early on as a wee little kid?
So here I was in Kansas, so I think we had a lot of silence, and I remember a hurricane, so that might have been lots of wind, but the parents were playing doo-wop harmonies and early R&B and jazz.
Yeah.
And the other parent was playing classical Beethoven, and then the 70s folk of Joni and Judy and Leonard.
Yeah, so, and what years would this be?
Well, if I was 5 in the early 70s.
Okay. So you had a pretty broad mix of things coming into your ears. But you were in Kansas, you didn't hear country music, you didn't hear whatever was going on in Kansas.
Not that I, 5-year-old, remember. I was probably also getting older brother's influence of Beatles.
Uh-huh. All right.
You know, there was probably some songwriters at the, my dad worked at a place of teenage boys, so there was probably some troubadours. And we always had a piano in the house, so I could always plink, plink, plink.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Can I say that?
Cool.
What was the first, and I should say, unlike most of the musicians I have and songwriters, you actually earned a living playing and performing at least some of your own songs. Yeah,
True.
You got it, baby. You got the money.
Made this fun. My own music.
What was the first song you wrote that made you think, I can write a song?
Well, the first one I wrote was a choppy thing when I was a teenager, and I wrote a song. Yeah. I was like, wow, I expressed something. I was, feeling teen angst, and it was a song. I guess friends of mine were also endeavoring to write songs. So I wrote one, and I said, hey, that's my first song.
What was it about?
I was feeling low. I did not know where to turn, something like that.
Uh-huh.
A teen angst song of like, scratch your head and wonder.
Cool. I think that's a lot of those people come up with this. Now, this is the make-believe question. It's
okay, cool.
It's 1964. You are who you are now, or who you were in your prime, if you're past your prime. The Brill Building in New York. You familiar with the Brill Building?
Yeah.
You're trying to get a job as a lyricist in the Brill Building. Convince me. I'm Mr. Brill. I need someone to work with Neil Sedaka and Neil Diamond and all the people who are there. Convince me that I should hire you. Why should I hire you as a lyricist?
Because I'll put together words in a very creative and funky way. Maybe not the girl walks down the street, she's looking for something to eat and looking for a boy to meet. I mean, that's boring. I got some funky words for you, bro.
Good.
Funny, if I were to transfer back then, they'd be like, this is too strange for now. But can't we just have makeup sex and leave it all behind? Passion will work out the rest if we just don't use our minds.
What's interesting is I find that I am, sometimes I'll listen to music or even, I admit, like if you go to songwriter circles and somebody will say they'll say like two, and I'll sit there and go, it's going to rhyme with you. And it'll be like, or I'll listen to songs on the radio, pop songs, and I'll sit there, and as soon as they do the one line, I'm like, okay, it's gonna rhyme. Here's the word they're gonna rhyme with. And I'd say I'm right 30% of the time. But what I always love is when caribou comes into it instead of you
Right.
and two and above with love. And
Right.
yeah, that can be, it's good to have a unique rhyme. So actually you've gone into the next section, which is technical skills.
Mm.
Honed technical skills. There are songs that have a strong narrative element to it. They tell a story, and then there are some that are songs that are just more like impressionistic. What songs do you have, and maybe you don't have any, that are strong, have strong narratives, a story, beginning, middle, and end?
I do have songs like that. What songs do I have that have a strong beginning,
Yeah,
middle, and
could
end?
you give us an example of something that you think is really good in terms of the whole song, where you are, you're actually telling a story?
Yes. Comes to mind is from my first album. I'm working on my third. I actually have lyrics to my third solo EJ album. But something on my first album, it's pretty much a story about breaking up and making up. Narrative is, if ever my heart was so captive, it was only in a dream that danced on the fading star of you and me. Then when late December in the midst of winter freeze, the changing winds and stars align just right with you and me, far away now, in some smoky room, unmoved by the glance of any other, my heart longs to be with you, my sweet distant lover. Those are lyrics on my first album.
Yeah,
It's pretty story-like.
yeah. And I think it's interesting that you don't hear people like reciting poetry, just out of the blue. And one of the nice things with these interviews, because we can't play music because it gets all screwed up, is people will sit there and they'll recite their lyrics and look up at the sky. And you are hopefully still listening.
I am. It's back. I'm back.
Okay, and you're sitting there in a park, and I'm wondering, imagining someone walking by you and hearing you.
Here's a bit of my poem.
Yeah, it's kind of like something out of ancient Greece.
Actually,
About,
that's a poem I didn't write, but I set to music. It's on my album. It might be a technical glitch, but I do have story songs. Yes, I'm sorry. Next question, or
well, yeah. So then the other end of things is sort of your impressionistic songs that are a lot of, the one song that sticks in my mind of yours that I remember from long ago is it sets a setting. It creates a setting, as I say, all along the Watchtower. I don't know what it's about. I don't care. And so I think that's more your area of expertise. But could you give us sort of an example of a song that really just sets impressionistic? It's like an impressionistic painting.
Yes, I can. So I'm looking for The Day Fluttered By.
Which automatically makes me think of butterflies.
The Day Fluttered By. All right, I'm gonna go to Slice. The song Slice. Say you like the slice that you see. The other slice is in the penitentiary, the crib, the classroom, the padded cell. The slice you're eating both serves us well.
That's good. That's good. Almost just as straight up poetry, man.
Well, I appreciate that, and I got into many debates about people about our lyrics, poetry, our peer poetry lyrics. Is there an overlap? How much so? With some strong debates on either side. I also like playing the Guess the Next Rhyme game on the country radio stations. That's where it's extra more fun because country radio, I listen to it. There I'm admitting it because it's just, there's no too much in country radio. It's really, really. This song I just read to you is called Slice. And a very funny thing happened when I played a gig in 2020, or it might have been late in 2019. If you remember, the gig was playing music in crowds of other people. I actually have made a recording of it. And after the song Slice, we finished, somebody's like, what the heck was that about? And then I said, well, it's called Slice. And I think I recited the first line or two. And he goes, it's not about a soda. It was very funny that my lyrics elicited some kind of heckly back and forth response. I thought that was great.
The one I was thinking of was 21 Hayes, which
Mm.
if you don't know that it's about a bus route, that I don't think I would know what 21 Haze is, but the whole song just seems to be like this, and I think this actually talks about the difference between poetry and music, is the way 21 Haze is, you're talking about a bus route. That's my take of it, and it's 21 Haze, and you just get this frantic notion of somebody running around and just having this kind of frantic life, but it's not entirely bad, and it's something like 21 Haze will get you where you need to go. And I think it's almost like the music part adds another, and that's almost like a second set of words, where it's like, this is a frantic song, versus if it was 21 Haze, ba-da-bop, you'd set this mood that was much less frantic, and the same lyrics might give it a completely different impression.
Right. I think that's what some of the great lyricists, Bobby and Leonard, Dylan and Cohen, were like, how can I get my poems to more people? It's like an IV, write in, music can really just write in. And another great lyricist, Robert Hunter, they asked him, what does it mean? And it was funny. He's like, what do you mean, what does it mean? It means, and he just started reading the words, like, it means what I said that it means. It's all there in black and white on the words on the page, What do you mean, what does it mean? It means...
My sister does poetry and stuff like that, but I think her thing is like, lyrics are more likely to be interpreted differently, and it's kind of okay that they'll mean different things to different people. And it's kind of like that, it's got this music thing that kind of hits these weird emotional things, while poetry tends to be, it's more clear what it means to the listener. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I can sort of see her argument that, I always say music is almost like two dogs howling to each other. They both know what they mean, even though they can't speak a language. Human beings, when we hear music, we know what it means, but we can't explain. It's like that dog communication and human communication at the same time, where poetry, the dog communication is kind of gone. There.
Right. I think I agree with you. You could agree with your sister, but you're like, I see what you're saying, but I'm not sure that I agree. Because poems can be really interpreted this way or that.
Yeah.
As well.
So anyway, how about, I think also this next song is examples of strong wordplay, rhymes within rhymes, just little lines that you thought were really good. Actually, I think that Slice was a very good example of it, where it's just kind of like just taking words and braiding them together and doing crazy stuff with words. You have any good juicy wordplay stuff?
I think I might hear. But then what you just said a minute ago about hearing someone come back with 21 Haze, but in your head, you're like, well, this means this, obviously, because whatever the writer went through to get. And then to hear somebody go back, he goes, no, I thought it meant, you have no idea. And sometimes it might be a personal thing. You're like, oh, I'm reluctant to share this or shy to share it. But meanwhile, nobody has any idea. Who has any idea with like words are flowing out like gently rain into a paper cup. Who knows what he was, a dream, or maybe he was, who knows how he arrived at that. Another famous Lennon. Here's the day fluttered by, which I found a minute ago, which I think will be some rhymes and play with words. She spent her day far enough away that it was miles without her. She wound her watch and watched the clock and silenced all the shouting. She said that I'm in a perfect place and I choose happiness, and that sabotage is just a sing-along, and then she changed her dress. The day fluttered by and the river ran dry.
That's good, man. That actually works as poetry. That works as poetry too. Just the way you do it.
Thank you. I think there's a big overlap. This friend in Maine and I were like, he's like, no, poems are poems and lyrics are lyrics, and I'm like, but anyway, yeah. And I think the best of both is if a lyric works by itself, or if a song works instrumentally. How about that? With can you whistle the melody? That's another thing. I actually really work on melodies and interpreting them, and
I think that's a big problem with folk songs, and as much as I love them, I love folk singers, where it's like, You know, it's like Woody Guthrie. His songs are just great songs,
Right.
and if they didn't have this message to them, but I think a lot of protest songs is, I'm going to say something that's important, and then it's like, you know, musically this is not good. But when you listen to, you know, Woody Guthrie, or, well, Pete Seeger wasn't really writing his own songs, but it's just like, take away the message, man, that's great stuff. Or like Joni Mitchell, take away the message and it's still, or, you know, Stevie Wonder, people always talking about Stevie Wonder's, he's got great lyrics. Take away all these jazz guys do covers of his songs because musically they're fantastic too.
Musically.
And
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
Let's say let's do so how about this one? You have, and I know you played with a lot of bands over the years. You were with the Goats, you were with EJ Maggie and Pierce, and you've sort of sat in with 10 bajillion other people.
It's all true.
So there are some hit songs, and you have luxurious hair, may I say, for a man of your age.
There are some gig songs? Oh,
no, that's not my question. I was distracted by your luxurious hair.
You the distractions. I'm distracted. Wow.
Yeah.
It's summertime in the city, man.
Yeah. So, hit songs. You've done some. Everybody has their hit songs, the songs that people want to hear, and maybe you don't really like those songs as well as some of your other songs. What is it that you think makes your hit songs something that people like versus your other material? What makes a hit a hit?
Okay, one of the song that I wrote recently and people really like it is called Rectangle. And it was a poem. I was walking and I got so it's kind of a beat poem. And I decided to perform it at an open mic and I said, oh shit, I need a chorus. So the chorus is rectangle, rectangle, and that's it. And somebody ran into me at a music shop and they're like, hey, you're the triangle guy, right? They remembered this song from an open mic.
Yeah.
And people go, play that song again. So what do they like about that? It's really just kind of a poem, like a beat poetry. I wouldn't even call it a rap, kind of like how Frank Zappa would do rhythm and words. I don't call it rap, but it's it's inane, it's catchy, it's memorable. I'm the triangle song guy.
What do you mean by inane?
Oh, it's just a silly song because the chorus is rectangle. And when I'm gigging with it, I like to drum up the vibe of the room and get everybody just kind of screaming depending on how moody they are. Rectangle. So it is kind of funny song, a little bit.
What's the content? I mean, kind of what is it?
I got a rectangle in the city, and the field next door, it's kind of bricky, and the tree on the corner, it's down to the wire, and the building next door is getting higher. I got a rectangle, it's all I get, and all them party kids, I can't get upset, and all the parking slots, they already went. I got a rectangle I'm gonna be happy with. Rectangle.
See that now this goes to my theory that I think a lot of sort of hit things, it's empathy. If you can do something that people can empathize with, and you can be a jerk, and you can be like Sweet Home Alabama or What's Your Name, Little Girl. I don't know why I'm picking on Leonard Skinner, but if and even if it's just people can in their fantasy identify it with, like Taylor Swift songs or whatever. But if there's empathy, that is, I think that's kind of what draws it in. And with your thing, I gotta imagine a lot of people where you're playing in Manioc, they just like, yeah, that's me. I'm in a rectangle. That's kind of.
And then I have fun with it. I mean, our phone, we're talking on a rectangle, and you start seeing them they're everywhere, Jake Michael. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. We're doing okay on time because we have to do this. And in the internet world, people have very short attention spans. So I have to move these things along. What critically panned song, musical group, or style of music are you embarrassed to admit that you like? If people heard you say you said you like it, they'd go, ooh, yee, what?
Well, I mean, just to the fact that I'll leave the country station on for like many, many minutes.
Uh-huh.
Part of it, just to be amazed at how there's no over the top in that genre, and the rhymes might be very guessable, but it's just such a powerful, very exportable, like all over the world. People love this country music. That's kind of a guilty pleasure. I kind of derive some kind of pleasure out of listening to that.
So this is modern. This
guilty.
is modern day country music.
Yeah, the stuff that's on the station would mostly be modern day stuff.
Yeah.
With occasional classics thrown in, but the other stuff, I loved Adam and the Ants as a kid. I would still be proud about that. There was a time I was like, I kind of like Metallica, but no, they kind of rock. I saw them in concert finally, and so I guess the guilt of like, oh no, don't tell anybody that I secretly like.
Right. Yeah, the modern country. Yeah, I think people scorn modern country.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I'll admit it's.
Yeah. How about now? Here's the other thing. Huh?
It's like working on that scab. You're like, it still hurts a little bit. You listen to this song. You're like, sometimes I leave songs on that I hate just because I'm like, I can't believe this.
I once helped out with this folk music group, folk music like festival, and I was guarding cases. I wasn't really doing anything. But after like 3 days of folk music, I was just like protest songs, and I was like, okay, radio, give me what you got. I need what's the opposite. And I heard it was just the very end of something of Think My Marian, Take Me Away, Boston. And I'm like, that's pretty good, but that, and then they played Bohemian Rhapsody. Yes, that was what I needed to cleanse all the folk music out of my head.
I love it. And I like how you said about protest songs before. I feel like Neil Young's a good example. He has like wordy songs.
Yeah.
Or he'll have protest songs. Or then he'll have his like really wacky, cool, interesting songs, or maybe David Crosby's another example, who I saw in concert a couple years ago, and he was kicking ass at 70, whatever. And interesting, like if it was a painting, it would be like abstract, weird. And then you'd have the like, it was kind of resembles a flag. It's just very straight, like the groups of songs, you know what I mean, that serve different purposes.
Okay, now here's the opposite. What critically acclaimed song, musical group or genre, do you dislike? You're supposed to like these guys, but you just don't.
All right. Well, it's funny. I thought about this before. I'm really not a fan of Van Morrison. I know he's classic. And
good answer.
Really. It's funny. I was in a group and we would tour all over the place, and we'd have certain like agreed this when this comes on the radio, we change it. CCR, John Fogerty. Bob Seger I've softened on, but his voice was getting to me. And then after the group broke up, they told me they never liked Aretha or Janis. And I was like, that might have broken up the group, years before if I'd known that. But fan of man, I guess.
That shows that you have humanity. Yeah, that's a good one. No one's come up with that one. That's a really good one. That's a kind of
different, because he's so revered, and
Yeah.
But
so we have come to the end of our story here. You are in wonderful Manioc that's doing an advertisement for all several of by the new bridge, which is now a trail bridge, which I have yet to walk over.
Up there is.
Yeah.
Up there.
Technically speaking, I'm a trail planner. I should go there because it's a good COVID place to go.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Up there's a blazing hot sun on the top of that one, but the one along here is the Schuylkill Trail. That way would be Valley Forge, and that way would be Philadelphia.
You got it.
You got it.
Now, so I will end this. Oh, I should have people know, where is it that they can hear your music online or contact you or do whatever you want to sell yourself?
Thank you. E.J. Simpson Music. That's E.J.
E as in E, J as in J, Simpson as in with a P.
Simpson. Let's see. As a kid, O.J. Simpson was like I was like, yeah, he's my uncle. Who do we got? We got Sturgill Simpson, Ashley Simpson, The Simpsons, E.J. Right. Simpson Music. And music is music.com.
That's good. All right. EJ, you write good songs.
Rectangle. Thanks, Jake Michael.
Yep.
See ya.